Hi everyone, Jazzi here from Devon Cookery School, and today I'm going to show you the ultimate American style mac and cheese. It's gooey, it's creamy, you can do it all in one pan, and we've also got a special ingredient today that does take it to the next level. So keep watching to find out what that is. Okay, so this isn't going to be a baked mac and cheese, but I do still want to give a bit of crunch to the top. So what I'm going to do is going to get some smoky, streaky bacon under the grill, get that nice and crispy. You let it cool down and then you can crunch it up on top. Also going to go with some crispy onions, which might seem a bit random, but that crunch and the savouriness is going to really come through. Next, I'm going to get our ingredients ready. So because this isn't going to take very long, we need to get all of our cheese grated, and we need to chop some chives for a nice little bit of greenery. So we're gonna head on in, straight up, nice chunky side of the grater. This is a nice red Leicester. This is going to help give the color as well. So we'll just get involved in this. That might be too much cheese, but we move. Then we're gonna use some mature cheddar. You could use mild cheddar if you like. Just be careful if you were to bake this, the cheese can split if it's too mature, but we're not going to bake it today, so it'll be fine. I'm going to chop up some chives. This is just going to give a real pop of colour and a bit of freshness to it. Bit of greenery amongst the cheese. That's all the prep done. Simple as that. So I'm going to move the board and then we'll start cooking our pasta. So to cook this pasta, here we have got some, we call that elbow macaroni. Ooh, so it's the little tiny ones. We're actually going to cook this in the smallest amount of water possible, and that is to get as much starch from it as possible. So I'm going to pop that into there, and then I'm going to put some boiling water on top, just so it just covers it. So it's still going to absorb it, but you're going to get that starchiness from it. And as ever, a good pinch of salt into there. Now we can get this cooking, and I'll show you as we go. The starch will start to come through and it'll get a little bit sticky. I can now split this when I run my spatula through it. There's very little water left under here. And I've just tasted some and it's just slightly under because this is going to carry on cooking. So to this, I'm going to add some evaporated milk. So evaporated milk is really good for this. It's got more structure to it, so it's not going to split as easily. I've seen recipes for this before where people cook their pasta in the milk. You're at risk of it scorching, so this is a really nice way to get it really creamy. You can see already it's got a lovely cream to it. And speaking of cream, let's go with some double cream, because double cream is the best cream. And we'll mix this through as well. Now I've got this on a really low temperature. I'm going to add my cheese in a minute, and what I don't want to do is split it. So let's get that going. I'm gonna go, bring the cheese over. I might not need all of this, we shall see. Get my cheddar, get my red Leicester, just gently mix this through to start with. You could also use other cheeses you could use. You could use some mozzarella in here, would be lovely. You could use like a Gruyere if you wanted something a bit fancier. We're not going for fancy today. Oh no, I am about to add my secret ingredient, which is the fantastic plastic cheese. This is the closest we will get to American Velveeta, which is a kind of block cheese that doesn't really resemble any cheese, but it does make this really gooey and really creamy. So I'm just gonna break up a load of this into here. If you can find a mature one of this, fantastic. It's not really gonna make a lot of difference, but breaking that in, still very low temperature here. This is still cooking, but you can see it's starting to get that lovely shine to it. Woo! Needed a bigger boat. Just gently stir in this. Keep mixing. More cheese, let's do it. All right. And this is very nearly there. Look how shiny that is. Oh yes. So this is something that I've done at home before, and I've just popped it in the slow cooker. So we've had lots of people over, popped it in the slow cooker, made it slightly creamier with a bit more milk, a bit more of that evaporated milk so that it doesn't dry out. If this does dry out, simply just top it up with a splash of boiling water and it will all emulsify back together again. So I think we're very nearly there. I'm going to add a little splash of hot sauce to this. This just is going to give it a little bit of a kick, a bit of vibrancy. If you wanted to add a little bit extra, but you didn't want the hot sauce, like a mustard would work. An English mustard, you could get away with a Dijon. This is just going to give it a bit of a tang to it. I would say that is good to go. So I'm going to turn this off now. It will still hold its heat. And then I'm going to chop up my bacon and then serve it up. Now we serve this up. So we've got our super silky pasta. Look at that. Child's portion of pasta. And then I'm going to top that with a generous handful of our crispy bacon. For even more crunch, some crispy onions, which are just delightful as a little snack. And then for a pop of colour, a bit of freshness, a bit of chives. And then that is our delicious, creamy, gooey, American-style mac and cheese. So if you've liked what you've seen today and you'd like to learn more, why not think about subscribing? And you can also check out these videos. See you next week.